Now I'm tuned into the Detail Did It podcast. Come catch a favor.
God damn, boy, what's that? Some kind of weave or something?
Count it up, count it, count it up, count it.
Welcome. Here we are. We in the building, man. It's going down here in the Detail Did It podcast, man. I appreciate everybody being patient with us, or patient with me, rather. I'm solo tonight. I was supposed to have some guests, but everything got a little misconstrued from some events that happened last weekend, which we will definitely get into, man. I just want to say shout out to everybody out there in podcast land, Facebook world, YouTube world. If you are viewing us, please take a moment and hit the subscribe button, the little button right. How you do it? Right here. And so that you can, the little bell button, so that you can always be notified whenever our videos and all this stuff drops. But yeah, I'm feeling real good. It's 420, and I'm definitely an advocate of that 420 movement. But before we get into the 420 stuff, because I know that could be kind of controversial, but I'm all about that life. Let me see. Where we at? Oh, man. There we go. Word. Perfect. Word. All right, it's the Detail Did It podcast, man. And you're tuned into the greatest podcast in the universe. In the galaxy. I'm gonna go ahead and claim it, man. You know, this is episode 5, and I'm coming live. I'm solo today, man, but I got my people in here. Got my people, Zay in the building. He's the cameraman behind the scenes, making all this magic happen, making me look good on this camera. It don't take much work because I'm a Johnson boy. Definitely, I just want to let you all know that I'm very proud and honored to that you guys allow me to have this platform. So I definitely want to respect that and let you know that I appreciate it, and I'm not going to take it lightly. I definitely want to have fun with this, but I also want to push certain agendas and things that are close to me, near and dear to me, and also to shed light on everybody that's doing something positive in the community. We're definitely going to put a lot of emphasis on those things. But being that we in a racially divided country, a lot of the times that's where my heart is at. So a lot of things that I say and do are going to stem from that subject matter. So that's just to give you a little insight of what I want to do with my podcast. I definitely want to push enlightenment, you know, looking at us instead of breaking us up into races and looking at each other as all one race, you know. You just so happen to be this color or that color. And anyway, because I know right now I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of races, and and it feels good because I'm growing like that. But anyway, let me see. Like I said, no guests today. I want to give a special shout out to PK and Stephanie. They are definitely going to be on the show soon. They weren't able to come because I had to cancel them last week due to a death in the family. And so that's how that went. But we'll be getting with you soon. I appreciate you guys being patient with me as well. So I just want to talk about marijuana. I'm gonna just say it, weed, man. I'm definitely an advocate. I think there's a lot of cool things about weed, and you know, I want to call it cannabis so I can be politically correct because that's what they call it these days. But there's a lot of things about cannabis that are like what do you call like myths or whatever. So I got some stuff I wrote down, right? So one of the myths about weed is that it's all the same. Weed is not all the same, man. Marijuana is definitely, it is all the same if you don't know what's going on. But if you know what's going on, there's actually, if you educate yourself, you can go to Google University and you can find out that there's hybrids, there's sativas and indicas. Sativa being more of the head high, the more, creative type of break your anxiety up type. A lot of PTSD soldiers like to prefer that based on what's going on in their life or their situation. But and then you have the indica, which is more of the body high, which is more of like being in the couch. When you think indica, you think in the couch. So you're gonna be chilling, eat a bunch of snacks, chilling with your lady, whatever, watching a really cool movie or whatever. So that's it. It's not true. All weed is not the same. It's definitely not. Right now, there's a lots of weeds that you can get now that it's been legalized in a lot of the states and around the country. They've taken it to a whole new science. You can get weed for all types of ailments, from PTSD, from cancer. I personally, I have a cousin of mine she was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, and they had her on like 12 different pills, and she couldn't even, she had no life because she was just drugged up all the time just to get around. And then she discovered, the medical marijuana, and she was able to supplement a lot of those drugs for marijuana type, whether it be putting it in her food, just basically eating it, rubbing it on her skin. All these things help her, and now she can actually work, have quality of life, and all that good stuff. So that's really the dope thing about marijuana. They say smoking weed causes brain damage. Now, I allegedly love cannabis, you know what I'm saying? So coming from a guy I feel like my memory is a little messed up sometimes, so I might be a little short-minded, but I think I've come a long way, and I don't think it's the marijuana personally. I think it's you. So I don't think it's for everybody, you know what I mean? So teach his own. But there's no research out there that proves this. There's hardly any research on it anyway, which is why it hasn't been regulated. But it's just hard for it to regulate because there's no real official studies. But it's coming to pass as we speak, because I believe Texas just opened up its first medical marijuana dispensary in Schulenburg, I want to say. So they'll be able to service a lot of our citizens of Texas that are dealing with a lot of things such as, what do I have here? Can't spell. Help me say that. Fibromyalgia. No, I ain't gonna try to, man. Let me see. What's the deal when the guys be having a lot of stuttering problems, or like Tourette's, things of that nature? The kids that are dealing with epilepsy, that is like helping them majorly. So it's got a lot of wonderful uses for it. So again, I'm all about that medical marijuana, man. It's where it's at. Let me turn the volume down on this. All right, so what else? Another a deal, they say it's an addictive, or it's the gateway drug. Now, there's no proof again that say that it's addictive. It's addictive. But me personally, I think it's all about balance. It's just about, everything in life is about balance. If you overdo something, then yeah, you might, it could turn into something that it shouldn't be. But again, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Let me see. What else they got on here? Gateway drug. Let me see. No medical advances, or they said there's no another. This is another false claim. It says medical marijuana has no advances medically, or has any value. That's, again, that goes back to what we were just talking about. Marijuana helps everything. Now, me personally, if you got anxiety, that helps and goes a long way. All these pills that they got us out here popping, I don't think that's cool. I think something that grows out the earth is way more better than something that's been hasn't really been tested. And you don't know what's the So anyway, but that's just my personal view. Again, to each his own. But anyway, So moving on, what else we got on the list? All right, so I guess I'm gonna get personal. So this past weekend, I had to dip, right? Y'all out there, man, y'all talking, y'all had to dip, man. I was supposed to do a podcast last weekend, and at the last minute, I got some news that my great-grandmother passed away, right? So I was like, wow, I didn't even know this lady like that. And so this time around, so I dropped everything, and I went to assist in being a pallbearer in her funeral. And it was kind of weird at first because I didn't really have a feeling of loss. It was more of a loss because it was a more of a bad feeling because I didn't know her. So it was just like out of respect, being that she did whatever she did in life and what those moves helped create me. So out of respect, I went there to help bury her. But on the positive side of things, I found out that I had a great grandmother that was still alive on the other side of my family, and that she was having her 90th birthday, and that was kind of dope. So I shot out and went out there to go meet her for the first time. Now, first of all, I didn't even know she existed because I'm not close with my dad's side of the family, and that's something that I also want to touch on as far as family is concerned. So I go out to this party, this place in the middle of nowhere, and literally Timbuktu. I'm in Louisiana, I'm in the country, right? So I go out here to the middle of nowhere. I don't know none of these people. Luckily, by the grace of God, my mother was with me. So she like, you want me to come with you? I was like, please and thank you. I got to go in there with somebody, you know what I mean? So my mom was like, cool. So she came with, right? So we get there, and I felt like Killmonger, except for I didn't die, right? Man, when I got to this place, when I look up and I look in the eyes of all these people I ain't never seen before, and I see myself in a reflection, like people that look like me, man, like without even having to say words, I felt like I could kind of breathe a little bit. I was like, whoa, okay. Wow, people that look like me. And that really just touched me. So anyway, I meet this old lady. She's 90 years old. Her nickname is White Dynamite. She can still dance. She can still move and groove. And she still got all her sense. We instantly like gravitated to each other. And it was weird. It was like 90 years old. Only 1% of our country or human beings make it to 90 years old, that age bracket, like 1% of the world population. So if you make it into the 90s, you are part of a very small people that live to see all that you have seen. So to be a part of that heritage, a part of that bloodline, is something special, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's real, that's rare, that somebody, you know, because what's the life expectancy? I don't even want to get started about what the black man's life expectancy is, but I don't know what the average life expectancy is, and I know it's not much, and I know I don't know a lot of people that are 90 years old walking around, but my great-grandmother, who I buried, was 96 years old, God rest her soul, and when she passed away, and this lady here is 90 years old and still up and running. That says a lot. But I really want to touch on is the fact that though it was all wonderful and great that I got to see and meet these people that I don't know, the part that hurt me, the kind of gets to me, it tugs at my soul, is because how come I don't know these people? You know, the older I get, the more I search for who I am and why I do some of the things that I do, why I have these traits. I know it's in my DNA. I know our spirit, part of our spirit is covered in our DNA. It's a lot of things that I do based on what my grandfather did, based on traits that he passed down through me. And I know this for a fact because up until this visit, I thought I was the only entrepreneur in my family. I was like, I'm the first business owner in my family. And when I meet these people, it's like over half of them are business owners. I'm like, oh, that's where I get that from. That's where I get my entrepreneur, let me go get it myself. My grandfather owned his own trucking company. He passed away on the Griffin side. You know, everyone's a business owner. Everybody was at this party because they was able to leave because they got their own business and doing their own thing. Matter of fact, the party that we, where the party was at, was my uncle's brothers, Gerard. What's up, Gerard? It was his club, that who we were at. We were in his business. And that was kind of cool. You know, that was real cool. I'm like, wow, that's where my hustler mentality comes from. You know, because my mother and father raised me to go get a job, 9 to 5, good grades, get a good job, you know, good 401k, and that was just never in me. I always knew that I was supposed to be my own boss and do my own thing, and I'm just glad that I did that, and it's cool to see where that comes from, where that bone comes from. And then, you know, I'm an artist, I like to draw, so here's another situation just to add light on knowing where you come from and knowing your people and getting to know that shit, because it takes a village. And now the older I get, I see why it takes a village. So we're at the table eating our breakfast the next morning, and we're on one of those tables that has the white paper on it, you know what I'm saying, so the kids can draw crayons, right? So my kids, you know, I don't do a lot of drawing no more. You know, I'm too busy or whatever the case may be is my excuse. But whenever me and my family have to go to restaurants, I always get like a napkin, and I'll be like, let me get a pen. And I just start drawing characters, just doodling, you know, whoop, 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 and, you know, whatever. So we're sitting there chilling. I'm talking to my great-grandmother. She's on to my right. I got Greta. I got my brother Aaron across from me. The whole family, all this other whole side of my bloodline, you know. And I look up, and all the teenagers are down there drawing. And then I'm like, and they drawing good. And I'm like, dang, they draw too? You know, so, you know, that was just something to say, you know, to go back to what I'm saying, knowing where you come from. Not that that matters in every aspect, but it gives you a sense of pride and a sense of where you come from. Not that where you don't come from, who you don't know is not part of you, but I think it's just important to know these things, because when you don't, like for me, for instance, the reason I don't know that side of the family is because my biological dad wasn't there for me, right? Boo-hoo, sad story is every black kid's story in America, right? So the relationship that me and him built was kind of bad. So off of him, I based that side of the family. He's messed up in my eyes growing up, so they all messed up. And I never made effort to really go out and see that, because A, I had a mom and dad at home, brothers and all that good stuff. I'm good, I'm blessed, I don't need that. But deep inside of me, there's a part of me that I can't help that wants to know certain things. The older I get, the wiser I get, you know. So where was I going with that? So I didn't know them based on my father. So I get to these people's I get to this party, and these people open their arms up with nothing but love, and it's like I'm seeing all this, and I'm like, wow, I've been judging y'all, and I even know y'all, and y'all just like me. So I think it's important, especially, and I want to jump to reason why, like, it's important to have fathers are so important to have right now, because like if you don't have your dad or a father figure, like, it's hard out here, because first of all, the black man, we have to work the hardest. We got to be perfect. Am I lying? Anybody of brown descent is messed up. So before we get deep into that, I think that starts with the fathers, man. And I was blessed to have a father, and I think I love being a father, and I think every move that I make is gonna, it affects my kids. They're watching me, they're judging me, and they're seeing am I being a man of my word on things. So I'm a family man. I've reconnected with my biological father. I've forgiven him, because you don't want to walk around with a bunch of hate in your heart, and that be the thing that don't get you ahead, because you be having that grudge. Like, holding a grudge is like letting somebody live rent-free in your brain. Like, would you let somebody live rent-free in your crib that you don't know and don't like? Why would you let somebody that you holding a grudge with live rent-free in your head? forgive, let go, and let that thing go, because you can't get nowhere if every time this person or that situation comes up, you feel some kind of way. So where was I going with that? I've forgiven my father, so forgiving him has helped me to grow so much more. Even though I still have some underlying issues with him, I love him and I appreciate him, because at the end of the day, without him, I wouldn't be here. But shout out to Gary Wayne Johnson, though, as always. But yeah, so anyway, let me see what else we got on here. Let me see, 420 racism. Custodial. All right, so since we're on the deep subject, I want to talk about giving back, which is important, especially if you start to rise to a place in life. It's always important to reach back and give and always show homage. I think I've always been a stickler for making sure I let people know that I appreciate what you did. So, I think I'm doing pretty well for myself. I've opened up a barbershop. It's booming. We've been through a lot of hard times, but we weathered the storms, and and my clientele is the dopest. I have the dopest team on the planet. Like San Antonio, if y'all don't know about South Crown yet, you better wake up. We got some really dope people in here, some really dope souls, people that are committed to the craft and the love of it, and and we love each other. But anyway, so I'm at a place right now, so I'm like, all right, how can I continue to reap the benefits of the blessings that I'm getting? I got to give back, right? So how can I give back in a way that I can, that I can really, really give back? So I'm like, boom, let me start an internship, right? So I go on Facebook. First of all, I pray about it for about a good month. So I go on Facebook and I'm like, I'm looking for an intern. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out of barber college, somebody that'll work, free. I'm gonna give you all the game I can give you. I'm gonna teach you everything I know, all my 30 years of experience. And I'm just gonna, give it to you, and we're gonna take it from there. And then, in return, you come work for me. That's kind of like the takeoff. But at the end of the day, before I can get my half of the deal, I got to give you everything that I got, right? So I reach out, and I get a couple hits up, and a young man hit me up who I know. And long story short, I was like, yeah, let's do it. I gave him a shot. Right? So I need to loosen up, man. Because when I tell this story, I don't want to be malicious, because nothing that I don't want to be malicious about anything. But this is my podcast. This is my platform, and I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with everybody that's out there, because I believe in giving back, and I believe you reap what you sow. And one thing that I teach my son is to be impeccable with your word. If you're gonna do something, say you're gonna do it, and if you can't, well, just say you can't. And trust me, they hold that to me every single time. Dad, you say you're gonna play me in 2K for 5 minutes before I go to bed. I'm like, and I'm already in the bed sleep. But you know what he hit me with? You gonna keep your word, Dad? And I'm up, because I will allow them to, I have to practice what I preach. Because when it's on the other side of the fence, I can apply the same rules, and I don't have to say nothing. You checking yourself. I could be like, what went wrong in that situation? And he could tell me, law number 1, I didn't keep my word. I'm like, word, okay, cool. So I don't, So anyway, I say that to say this. So going forward, so I bring the guy on, right, man? Everything's going great. He has not tested out whatsoever. He finished his hours, but he still didn't test out yet. He still had to take both tests. And so, the deal was, hey, man, you come on, I'm going to teach you everything. I got to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning. You got to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to feed you. I'm gonna give you all the game in the world. I'm gonna let you practice on my clients who trust me enough to allow me to do that. Shout out to my clients that allowed them that to happen, to take place, so he can actually get hands-on experience and guidance. Because again, for those that don't know, I've been cutting hair since I was, all like straightforward 10 years old, but that goes back to like 7. But let's just say 13, straight up serious, got my own set of clippers, cutting everybody in the neighborhood. Let's just say 13. So that's a long time. I'm 39 now, right? So you have all that experience. I've been a master barber for 10 years, 11 years rather. I worked at several shops, and I have a good standing with each and every last one of those shops. I've had a great tenure. I put blood, sweat, and tears in this game. I built a name brand. I built a household name in this city as a good barber, and it is what it is because of what you see happening right now. It's a reflection of those things, those good works, those always being the kind of guy to always give back. I've never been too cocky to help, to lend a hand or show someone how to do something or how to up their game, even though that doesn't help me at all. A lot of barbers can tell you I've given them advice that don't work for me or none of that. I just want to see them doing well, because for them to do well means we all doing well, and that's just a reflection of the whole game, because there's a lot of fuckery in our business, and I want to be one of those barbers that shed truth light on what barbering is really and truly about. At least you may not be deep in it like I am, but if you at least have a foundation of respect, then you can get somewhere and get far. So, and that was my whole plan, was to impart my game and my knowledge to a person. And then I'll even go out there and say this, not that everybody knows I help everyone, but seeing the state of the nation and the state of the country and the state of our people assisting black people, I was like, when I put when I put this out into the universe and I asked God to send me something, I was kind of looking for a brother, because I wanted to help another brother up, like do my part or whatever, because I just feel like it would have been a good opportunity for me to give back to my community, our black community, because I feel like we have we're a little setback, the black and brown guys out here. And so if I'm up, I wanted to try to help the next guy up, not that I wouldn't help anybody up. So that was part of me giving back. So I get the guy, we're going hard, he's doing well. I'm like, all right, cool, you're pretty much doing everything I ask of you. And then I'm like, when are you gonna take your test, bro? And he's like, I haven't scheduled it yet. I'm like, I'm taking a chance having you in my shop, operating on the low, if you will. Even though you're not cutting no hair, you're still in here at a station, and in all that mess. So I'm taking a chance. So if you're gonna be here, the goal is to become a barber. So it was times where we would not be doing no hands-on. I would have him sit there and study, because I'm not going to be one of these guys, these owners that try to take advantage of a new guy coming out of school and just try to don't worry about that, and just try to get him going so he can pay you chair rent. Like, my goal was never to get the money. It's never been about the money. I'm actually losing money having him in a chair that I could be renting out, but I'm losing money on that. It's not a loss at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, if you ask my business manager, he'll tell you that's a loss, so we can have somebody in that chair. But I'm like, no, I'm giving back. I'm going to use that chair, because at the end of the day, in a perfect world, after he finishes and gets graduated and gets coached and learned and all that good stuff, that'll be his chair. And then he will give back. You know what I mean? So, here it is. Me and my whole team is on him. Hey, bro, take your test. He goes, he tests out, passes his first test. Congratulations, everybody. Yeah, way to go. So proud of you. Keep pushing. We purchasing equipment for him, the whole nine, taking him out, taking him to shows. I did like a seminar at Geekdom. You know, so I took them along that trip to show me, give a seminar. I'm showing them all these different aspects and elements of where you could do what you can do in this game. I'm showing that you could just be a really dope barber, or you can be an owner. You know what I mean? It's all type of. You can be a platform barber. You can be you can do it's a lot of things. You can be an instructor. You can teach. Like I'm showing you all these different elements. But at the end of the day, I'm showing you can feed your family and you can help the next man. Right? This is what I'm imparting in him. So boom, he finishes the first test. Congratulations. So then, you know, I'm waiting to hear from him. Weeks go by. I'm like, yo, what's up with your practical? You know, you got to get this stuff knocked out because that's what's important. And I don't want you, again, I want you to be right. We don't play those games in here. We work too hard and we got too much to lose to be out here playing these games. So, and we just having a standard that we uphold at South Crown. So anyway, so he finally, get him tested. I was like, man, when I come back from this vacation, I need you to have a date for me saying that you gonna take your practical. So boom, I come back, he got the practical date set. I'm like, word, I'm proud of you, set the date, because a lot of people graduate, get their hours, and they start playing around and get caught up out here getting used and abused, and before you know it, it's 5 years going by and they still haven't got their actual license. So he finally gets his test. Before he even takes the test, we go out and I go buy him a nice set of clippers. Just some appreciation, just to let him know, like, hey man, I heard you talking about this, me and the team. I talked to one of the people on the team. It was like, he's been talking about this set of clippers he want to get. Woo, woo, woo. So I'm like, all right, go get him some clippers, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. Got him some edges, you know, all kind of stuff, right? Because, you know, I want to motivate you. These are the things that I wish somebody would have did for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing everything you're supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing. You know, there's rewards in this game. When you do what you're supposed to do, you reap what you sow. So me being like a father, guiding, I'm the master barber here, and I'm teaching you, you know, but you have to stick to the script. So finally, my man takes his test, and we all in the group text, right? And he's like, I passed. I'm like, man, congratulations. Everybody's like, yeah. So the very next week, it's something different in the air. You know, my man shows up to work a little late, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The vibe is off a little bit. He was acting real, you know, he acting just a little different. Got a little bit extra swag, but I'm just like, you know, cool. That's that I'm a licensed barber swag now. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, man, I'm glad that you got there, you know? So he's here that week. You know, showed up a couple times late. It's just off. It's just something in the air, and I can feel it. But I got so much I'm dealing with. That's when I find out about my grandmother passing away on that Tuesday. So I'm tuned into it, but I got to take care of my clients. I still got to teach you, and life still has to happen, you know. So you know, that week goes by. He took his test that Monday. You know, Tuesday my great grandmother passed away. Friday I go to Louisiana. I come back on Monday, and that Monday I get this text, right? It's random text. I'm just getting back from all this stuff, right? And I get this text that's like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, matter of fact, let me, you know what I mean? No, because, you know, I'm always want to keep it 100, and again, I'm not being malicious. I'm spreading light on something that's just real to me. Well, I just fuck. So it says, you know, I gotta holler at you. So being already tuned in with everything that's going on, something in my spirit is like, I text back, here we go. I'm like, here we go. I'm like, what is it in reference to, right? And he's like, all of a sudden, things are hard for him. I'm not gonna put specifics out, but life is hard, you know, things can't get done, this can't get done, you know, he's not able to do these people, this ain't working out and that ain't working out. All of a sudden, you know, and I'm just like, so I don't respond to it because I'm already knowing what time it is, and I'm just like, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, I wrote like 4 paragraphs, right? And then I deleted all of them because I was emotional, and as a boss, you got to know how to operate, you know, at a balanced state of mind. And when you're emotional, that is not the time to make decisions or moves, because emotion is based on feelings, and feelings change. Like when you got one in the air 420, you know, you're gonna think different from when you stress at the end of your day in traffic. You know, those aren't the moments to speak on things. So recognizing that after speaking to my wife, I'm like, yo, listen, look at this. And she was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. She was like, don't say nothing. So I'm like, man, all right, you don't get it. So then I text my business manager. I'm like, yo. And then he's like, sleep on it. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I sleep on it, I wake up and I don't feel no better. You know what I'm saying? I just like, you know, because it's funny how everything was all good just a week ago. Right. You know, it's like, it was all good. Now that you licensed, now that you got your paperwork, all of a sudden you want to switch on me? Or switch on us, as I should I say, because I want to say, as a team collectively, we all embraced and helped and looked out. Mm-hmm. And, you know, but I say all that to say this, you know, I'm not hurt anymore because I'm used to this shit. It's not my first merry-go-round. But for those people that are out there, that's a bad look on millennials, because it looks like you got your quick piece of the pie and now you think you know it all. You know, like whoever, you know, like I don't know who you're talking to or who's in your ear, but like a man is supposed to keep his word, be impeccable with your word. If you say, hey, teach me, do this, do that, and the third, in the contract, verbal or whatever it is, and then you got to do your part. I did my part, and then once you got your paperwork, you up and you dip on us? Really? All of a sudden things are tough? Since when? Like, that's not cool, bro. It's not cool at all. Like, and it's not cool for you, because like we're gonna continue to be blessed. Nothing's gonna change around here. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's just not a smart way to start moving as a new barber in the game. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you're given an opportunity. Now, I already know what the millennial mindset is. They got to get this money. And I understand that. And as a man who has a father and knows a person that has a father, you want to get that money. But if you're not ready, you're not ready. If you want to jump into a shop with a high volume of haircut flowage, walk-ins, it means nothing if you can't keep up with that flow. If you can't cut every 30 minutes, if you want a haircut for an hour and a half, and you lost in the cut, you're not ready for that. You know, and what's going to happen is things are going to backfire, because people are going to be looking at you like you need to catch all this walk-in flow, and you're not able to do that. When you could have sat here, learned some more, because nobody's going to save you out there in the sharks. Now that you're out there in the real world, they're not going to save you. They're not going to be like we are over here on the team, and when you're struggling, we come help you. And we do it respectfully so you don't look like whatever in front of the clientele. They're not going to do that out here in the real world. You know what I'm saying? And you have, and, you know, and sometimes, you know, hard head make it stop fast, as my mom and daddy used to tell me, you know, and sometimes I got to learn the hard way. So I'm just saying, like, you just had an opportunity to really get it and get it good, because we have one barber that's leaving. You would have picked up all her stuff. You know what I mean? I was giving you all my, I would have been giving you all my stuff. But again, I just want to say, like, I have it written down right here, man, because I just want this young man to learn from this shit, because, like, as men out here, when you have a son, your son is looking at that, and all your actions are going to reflect to you, whether it's verbally, mentally, or spiritually. Like what you do out here in this world, you're gonna reap what you sow. And if you putting out bad vibes, you not holding ends of your contract, that shit gonna come back and bite you. So make sure you wake up. Shout out to all the real barbers out there. You know what I'm saying? That's out here getting it. I'm trying to be so serious with y'all, man. Maybe I need to bring a little levity to this, man. Let me see, man. But yeah, dog, I just, you know, when you, it just kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you buy them business cards, you know what I'm saying? You pushing them take their test. You know what I'm saying? You let them occupy a chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feed them on a daily basis. Like, this is money coming out of my pocket, but I want you to be comfortable while you're learning. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't learn over. You can't. These barbers these days, they wanna take the elevator to where we at, and there is no elevator in success. You have to take the steps. You can skip some steps, but you gotta take the steps. You know what I mean? And then it's not until you take the steps and feel it. Every single one till you get to the top. It's not till you get to the top you can take the elevator. I can take the elevator. You know what I'm saying? But when you starting off, you can't. I couldn't. I had to take the steps. And you got to enjoy the process. But they want it overnight. You know, so like shout out to him. Wish this boy the best of success. But you don't do people like that. Because that shit come back and bite you. Am I lying? Nope. It do. All right, move it along. Somebody come over here and talk to me, man. I'm trying to do this thing by myself. Can I? How we doing, Zay? What we got out there, man? Yeah, man. So, man. Nah, man. But there's some other stuff that came out to this in this week. Yeah, they have the festival. Well, we got this Fiesta. Is that even right? Oyster Bake? We're supposed to be going out there, but the weather's supposed to be a little jacked up. Taste New Orleans? Taste New Orleans. I don't know about the taste no more, man. To me, the taste has kind of gotten a little... It should be called the smell. It shouldn't even be called the taste no more, man. Like, it's like traditional for me and my family to go there, and it's just... I don't know, man. It's just not the same. And I just recently started going to the Oyster Bake, and I actually liked it better. I just like the situation. I don't know. I'm just over the parking at the taste. I'm just over it. And it's just
Was there something that happened before Fiesta? What was it? Final Four?
Yeah, Final Four happened.
Final Four happened.
What are you talking about? Subject matter?
No. I'm just saying, like, what happened before.
What you mean what happened before?
I was talking about all the events that have been happening back to back.
Well, the only events that I care about right now that's been happening back to back is all this racist crap that's been going on in the country.
Like Starbucks?
Like Starbucks. So two gentlemen are chilling in Starbucks. And one gentleman asked to go use the bathroom. They don't allow him. Yeah. Mind you, these are brothers.
But those are two different events, though.
Wait, hold up. I got two different events. Hold up. So I know two guys were chilling, waiting on a friend.
Waiting on a friend, and then the other event happened when one person wanted to go to the bathroom, but he found out a white guy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Went to the bathroom, and they wouldn't allow him to because he didn't purchase anything. But when he went up to the white dude, he found out that the white dude didn't purchase anything either. So then there was this whole controversy thing, like, he didn't buy anything either. Why can't he go to the bathroom and I can't? So I know that's what happened with the second event. The first event, I'm not really.
Oh yeah, I could tell you about that. Basically, the two guys were waiting on a friend, which was a white guy.
Right.
And the lady, I guess, asked them to leave. They're like, no. So they called the police on them.
Right.
And the police came, apprehended them. They ended up being locked up for 8 hours in a holding cell, and just to be released or whatever. But there was no reason for the police to be called in the first place.
Right.
They were waiting on friends. Like,
I had a conversation.
I'm like, there's two white ladies waiting here for
whoa.
Like.
But Starbucks is the universal place for chilling and waiting on somebody.
Yeah, but
like,
I had that conversation with Lizzie. Remember when? Okay, so I had a conversation with Lizzie about that, right? And I I said, what if somebody came into the barbershop? Like, I made it relevant to us in our world. And I said, what if somebody came and they didn't get a haircut, but they were using our drinks? You know,
hold on, we had that happen.
I know, but we had somebody. I know, and I said, you know, we give our beers, beers, and most of our waters are complimentary, right? So I said, what if someone came in, they didn't get a haircut, they're not paying for nothing, but they're using our drink? And she said, we had someone that used our Wi-Fi. So I said, okay, so that's the same thing with Starbucks. If you look at it from their business point of view, not racial, not ethnic, but business.
Yeah, you're in here
People,
using our Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Starbucks has free Wi-Fi, and they're busy, especially during the new hour.
So what's your take though? Like
So my take is, I understand.
So you understand
America is right now, like where America is right now with our president. It's like everything is very rational. Like,
no, but let's just stick to the Starbucks incident.
Right.
So I'm trying to get just what you're saying. So you, you got a mic over there. You can pick one of those mics up somewhere. You got to turn on. No, just so you can hear you better. So you're basically saying that you kind of understand what Starbucks is doing?
So yeah, so I kind of understand where Starbucks is coming from, only from a business point of view.
Which is
if you are in our, our business, we are busy, and people come in to sit down and drink. If you are holding up our tables, our people who are actual customers who come in to drink, to use our Wi-Fi, whatever, cannot use it because you are sitting there waiting for a friend. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
They drink water and then use Wi-Fi.
all right, hold on, let me get this right. So you're saying that Starbucks had every right to call the police. So, whoa.
Oh, my phone is on the floor.
It's okay. We'll keep it. Show must go on. So you're saying that as a business, you understand why they call the police on them?
In a way, yes.
So
a way.
So what,
I'm not going to justify it.
So basically, they should call the police for standing in Starbucks waiting on somebody. That was the law they broke. Like what was the offense?
It's not that there was a law.
You know what? I can't even go in.
But listen.
It's wrong.
You don't know. Okay, listen. I understand where you're coming from. I do.
You haven't heard where I'm coming from.
But it's like, there really wasn't a law that was broken. I get it.
So, all right, cool. Let's stop right there. If no law was broken, why call the police?
Right.
Oh,
okay.
Wait.
So,
especially when, like no laws being broken.
Right.
Like they just chilling like everybody does at Starbucks.
Right.
And not to mention there were other customers in the store who hadn't yet purchased drinks.
Yeah.
Actually, the person who I think took the video hadn't ordered yet. So they're dead ass wrong, and they're definitely dead ass wrong in my perspective, because it's like you messing it up for everybody. And the sad part about it was these brothers went into position. If you saw the video, you got to see the fucking video. These brothers go in position. They don't trip. It's as if they know the protocol.
Yeah.
And they did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
As they were being apprehended and Perp walked out embarrassed in front of everybody in Starbucks for doing absolutely nothing, then their friend who they're waiting on, the Caucasian brother,
comes in and he's like, what did they do? What did they do? They're waiting on me.
They were waiting on me.
Yeah.
So now the CEO of Starbucks wants to jump out in front of, and
then close down all the stores.
Let me talk. Okay. He wants to jump out in front of the public, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You want to get a hit. So he's like closing down 8,000, they say 8,000 stores to send his people to do, I guess they're going to do like a broad streaming in all the stores.
Right, all the stores.
For basically how to give a class or
a teaching
on how to treat
human beings. Yeah,
human beings, exactly.
And I know that it's wrong. I know it is. You know what I'm saying? But when Lizzie told me the story of how South Crown had to kick out someone for using the Wi-Fi, you know, he came here, got a haircut one time, and then after that he would just come here after school, use the Wi-Fi up, and then we eventually had to kick him out, you know?
No, we didn't kick him out. We didn't kick him out.
That's what Lizzie said.
No, he wasn't kicked out. He kicked us when we made him aware that you're just kind of using us.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, when you come in here and take a crazy shit in my bathroom, don't get a haircut,
I'm sorry.
drink water, use the Wi-Fi, and just like stink up the whole place. Like, come on, bro.
Bathroom shut down for a whole week.
Back to the real shit. Like,
corporation like Starbucks.
You're right, but
yes.
in a way.
Hold on. There's so many people who do go there and they just get a water, which
Yeah.
is free, and then they study.
Yeah.
So those guys still didn't do anything wrong because they were still waiting for.
and it's not like they were there for an hour.
Yeah.
No fucking
They were there for no. And see, to me, it's a lot of things. Like, first of all, I think doing this awareness. I think it's the actual phrase, the term that they're using is implicable bias, which is basically learning how to be culturally diverse and understanding of other people. And that's like, you got to teach people that this day and age.
It sucks.
Like, we can go to Mars, but we got to teach somebody how to not hate one another.
Hate someone who's
over some
dark
ignorant
skinned.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's warfare. It's what do they call it? Mental warfare, like psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's a damn shame that people at this day and age think like that, but they do. And the worst part about it is the president of this country is basically their poster child, which gives them strength to think that they can just do that kind of stuff.
Now that,
you know what I mean?
I agree on.
You know, like, because of the stuff. I mean, like,
Yeah.
think about it. If my son got in trouble at school for grabbing a girl and her stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he comes home and he said, well, the president did it.
Yeah.
That's the highest office in position in the world.
Right.
He did it. You can't even like a soldier would get in trouble for doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, but back to what I'm saying, like, that's why a lot of this shit is back up in an uproar, because these little pockets of ignorant people, they feel like they have the power based on their president. He gets away with the shit, I can do it. If he can do it and they don't tell him nothing,
Right.
I can do this.
No, I
You know
have
what
a
I'm
story
saying?
to tell on that.
But it's not time for that.
Right,
okay?
you're right. I'm
Not
sorry.
Right now. We gotta stay on track. No, because I want to. The Starbucks incident is wrong, and I think that me personally, I think that they need to send everybody not only to this little intervention that they're doing.
Right.
I think they need to send them to the African American Museum.
Yeah.
And have them walk through that and really feel that and really understand. Because it's different to hear about it. It's like when I went to go see the Holocaust Museum,
Right.
in D.C. with my family.
Yeah.
No, we all heard about how bad Hitler was. Yeah, he slaughtered 600 million Jews. That's crazy.
But when you're there, it's there.
They allowed him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's another subject. But like, yeah, like that shit was creepy walking through. Very eerie. And it was like, whoa. You know what I mean? But anyway, so like, I think seeing that, education is everything. We have to educate people because people are ignorant, and you got a president that is allowing them to be ignorant.
Right.
And those guys that were at Starbucks should have been able to wait on their friend, get their drink,
Without
you know
a
what I mean?
problem.
Without no problem.
Yeah.
Shout out to the CEO who's trying to do something about it, because Starbucks is supposed to be the place where everybody can go.
Look, they're supposed to be liberal.
Whatever. I don't care about none of that. But anyway, so that's just one thing. You had Starbucks go down, and then what else you had? You had did y'all hear about the homeless dude that was like the police walked up on? He was
And McDonald's?
Nah, he was asleep. The homeless dude was chilling. Cop walked up on him, surprised him, whatever, and he like took the baton from the cop and beat him, blah blah blah.
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear about that.
All right, never mind.
I heard
Y'all ain't on your
about a guy was
politics.
homeless or whatever, and they kicked him out of McDonald's because he was eating or something like that. But I didn't hear about.
All right, so this is the one that touches my soul right here, man. I know y'all heard about the situation with the little kid getting dragged off the bus. Oh my God, y'all gotta be more conscious, man. You know what I mean? So this week, I think on Tuesday, or I forget, the story's not old at all. It's very, and
very new.
Having children of my own, and just being a human being, this shit is some old Martin Luther King, Malcolm X shit. So there's a little kid. There's a video on the internet. It shows a little kid on the bus, and he's in the corner screaming for his mama, right? Mommy, mommy, mommy. They trying to tell him to get off the bus. And he just, all you see him is like, he's like crying for his mama. So one of the staff grabs the kid, grabs him by his legs, and drags him out the bus, and his head is hitting like the steps and all that on the way down. Kid got bruises, and the kid had a concussion because he hit his head on the steps. Really? Now, like, first of all, let's not even get into color, race, none of that. Let's just say a 7-year-old child is being dragged off the bus by, let's say, a 150-pound grown-ass man while he's screaming for his mother. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. That shit is, and here we are, 2018, almost 2020, and we have somebody with the sense, with the mind frame to really think it's okay to grab a baby like he's a grown-ass man and drag him by his feet as if he's a pig or some shit, like an animal. That shit should fucking piss you off. And it pisses me off. And I watched the video, and I don't give a shit if that kid, what's the worst case scenario a 7-year-old kid could have been doing?
On a bus.
I'm just trying. Let's try to. Somebody think of something to make.
He's fingering a girl on the bus.
Okay, he was touching another child inappropriately. Okay, let's say hypothetically that kid was touching another child inappropriately. Okay, first of all, that's deep. That's some mental shit that kid's going through at home to making him act out like that. This is psychological. This is deep. And first of all, you don't put your hands, but no, you just gonna take it upon yourself to grab a child by his feet. That means you don't even care about this child. You just like it's a. I'm sorry, that shit should piss you off, man. Like, you people, we need to be calling our senators. We need to be calling that school district. Everybody in that school district needs to be sued. All that shit. So listen, there's another adult in the background, right?
Right.
Let me tell you how deep this story is. So you have a 7-year-old, y'all keep it down. We have a 7-year-old that's screaming for his mama getting dragged off the bus, right? There's another child on the bus that has a presence of mind to take a video of this episode going down. So what does that say? Even the child knew that this is wrong. I'm only 7 years old, but something in my spirit says I need to press record. So another child captures this whole situation as it's going down. Now that's God too. See, God that be happening, but God be over here helping too. So, and then you hear in the background an adult voice say, "Put that phone up." What? So hold up. This whole situation is going down, and your response to it isn't to the child, the victim, this baby that's terrified right now. Your attention is to a child that's recording it? That's your first step? So both of those people need to be fired. Both of those people need to, to me, what do you call that when you're a part of it? Yeah, implicit or accomplice or whatever. I can't find the wordplay because I'm excited, but yeah, she's part of that, and she needs to. That needs to be answered for. So, and all this crazy stuff is going down. It's 2018, and we got kids being dragged off the bus. And also, we never even talked on the fact that it was a white man dragging a little black child off the. So it's so many elements to this.
Did you hear about the story where supposedly there's a whole school district, right? bullied a kid who went up there and said, you know, you bullied me. And I want the teachers to help students who were like me, who wanted to like kill themselves or whatever. And the district was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't me. And, you know, and laughed about the situation and like kind of dismissed it. But it happened, you know, and he was a white kid. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people in the school district, you know, they may talk about bullying or whatever. But
y'all keep it down.
They don't take it as serious because, especially if they're the one who either they did the bullying or they don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bullying it sucks, man. I remember it's crazy you bring up bullying because just this morning I'm on Facebook Live, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at the people following me while I'm cutting or whatever, and a name pops up of a dude, right? Mm-hmm. And he was the dude that bullied me in high school, right? I was a new kid out of school. I was at this school that only had like a handful of black kids.
Right. And
and I was a different kind of black kid. I wasn't that guy. I was different. So, but I was a new kid. Long story short, he sent one of his little homeboys to come jump on me. You know what I'm saying? They jumped me on my way on the bus, whatever. So, like, you know, that was crazy. Like, I got hit in the head. They threw me up against the what's it called. It was the first time I ever really been jumped before. And at a new school for no reason, for just being a new cat. Right. And mind you, this is in Gatesville, Texas, and it's in like a country place. It's the only reason we were there because my mother worked at the prison, so we just lived there for a year or whatever. But you know, it's one of those places where, you know, when they say, like, that was the first place I heard someone call me a nigger with the ER, and they meant it. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny, you know, being a military brat. Like, hold up, you're serious? What? And like with a look in their eyes, so I was like, wow, man, where you move us to, man? This is gonna be crazy. But yeah, so I was, you know, I got bullied, but you know, it never stopped me. But bullying is whack because these kids these days, they don't, you know, they let the social media fuck them up, and it's because they don't go outside no more.
They hide behind the screen.
You know, everybody's behind the screen.
You know,
when we was kids, we went outside.
Yeah.
Man, there's times I almost died just going outside, like on some shit that happened that, you know, I can't even tell my mama about, but it was real that day. But we made it home, and you know, you ain't say nothing. You ain't say nothing, man. Let me tell you, the first time I experienced what life was real, it brings some levity to all this seriousness. So this is a story I ain't never told nobody. It's gonna be quick, right? This is when the first time I realized life was real and that God had a reason for me being around. So it's a normal day. Me, my brother Brian, Terrence, Kenfrey, maybe somebody else. We going to the park. It's another day at the park. I must have been 12, 13. And we go to a park, and this park has this merry-go-round, right? So for some reason, we got this rope. I don't know why we have a rope. We have a rope because we was always going on nature hunt, doing all kind of shit, making things. So I don't know. Long story short, I got this bright idea. I was like, listen, everybody get on the merry-go-round, right? I was like, everybody get on the merry-go-round, right? They was like, I bet. I was like, I'm finna get under it. So I get under the merry-go-round. I'm little, you know. I've always been, you know, nothing but skin and bones. So I'm up under the merry-go-round. It's about, you know, a merry-go-round, so about so high. So I'm up under that joint. It's high enough because I'm on my back, and what I'm doing is I'm using my feet, you know, all the lips, right, all the way around. Yeah. I'm using my feet to kick them joints. I'm on my back, and that joint, I can see it, and I can hear them on top, like, whoa, like it was going fast, and I was like, man, I'm so smart. Like, Darren, you know, and I've always been a giver, so I'm like, man, they're having a lot of fun on account of some shit I thought of. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't never went this fast on the merry-go-round. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was going down in like slow motion, right? The whole time I'm thinking about all this stuff, the rope is on the merry-go-round because I can see it. I'm on the bottom, and I see the rope. So, because whatever they were doing with it, they obviously had to let it go because they had to hang on. So I'm up under there. I'm swinging. I'm hitting it hard. And all of a sudden, the rope wrap around my neck and yanks me and takes me around, right? So I'm literally getting drugged from the merry-go-round with the rope around my neck, noose, basically like a noose around my neck, right? So, and I get flipped over the other way. They stop, they get off, they see me down there. I got the rope around my neck. First of all, how did I survive that? Think about that. A merry-go-round, that's a machine, metal, old school.
Right.
Joint wrap around my neck. My joint could have snapped. I could have been paralyzed.
Right.
I could have died. I could have y'all, you have no idea. Like the day when I walked away from the park that day, the park was never the same, dog. Life was so real. Like they laughed, my brother and Terrence, they laughed at me that shit all the time. And I think back now, I'm like, wow, dog, you could have that could have been, your life could have went a whole different direction that day. You could have been wheelchair bound. That was just like some freak accident shit, But I learned that life is real that day. My parents don't even know about that up until now. You know what I'm saying? But I learned that day, whoa, I could have lost it, because we lost a couple friends growing up. But that was one of my first, brushes with death. So kids these days, they don't know nothing about that. Right. They're on social media, unless their parents are making sure that they're out there, they're not. And it's really everything in our society, it's all moving you to the screen. Right. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're out there is if you're playing a sport. But everything is video, everything's technology, everything is this. So,
it's fake.
It's
like a fake life.
It's not I wouldn't call it a fake life, but it can be. If it only gets like that if you don't have a real life. Right. And it's important that you have a real life.
One thing on a screen, but real life.
Marty gotta go.
Real life.
Shout out to my boy Marty, just about to make 2 years here at South Crown Barbershop. Y'all holla at the boy. What's your Instagram, Marty?
That Barber Marty.
That Barber Marty.
All spelled correctly. THAT Barber Marty. MARTY. Come check us out. South Crown Loyalties Royalty, baby. Come check us out. We stay tuned, baby.
Already, man. Appreciate you, Marty. Appreciate you, brother.
Marty, you better not leave it.
But yeah, man, we're gonna be shutting it down here in a little bit. Let me just make sure I'm touching on everything that I want to touch on. Since I'm a barber, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly touch on some barber shit. Situation. Clients, this is some game for you. If you don't have all the money, if you don't have all the money for the service that you want, like if you go to McDonald's or you go to Walmart and you get to the register and you get ready to, and they tell you this what your purchase comes up to like $30, and you just give them 20. 10. You won't be able to do that. You won't be getting what you want. You'll be getting $20 worth of whatever it is that you have. So, and they respect it when it's those type of businesses. But a lot of times, people such as barbers and, business owners and things of that nature, young entrepreneurs, people always want to come with either the hookup mentality or an expectation sometimes, and it's really disrespectful. And I say that to say this: I had a situation with a client, right? And I've been cutting this guy for a long time. He's still my guy. I still love him, but I love what I do. And what I do, at the end of the day, it becomes a financial thing. It's all about, this is a job, and I work hard for my money just like everybody else, right? So I had a client that sat in my chair. We chopped it up, talked about everything he likes to talk about. And then after I finish his haircut, he sends money through an app or whatever, right? So we're walking out the door. I'm saying my goodbyes to this dude, right? And then I get the ding, I get the little message on my phone, right? And that joint was like, let's just say, I'm just keep it 100. It was like $20 from him, right? And I was like, hold up, hey, what's this?
You gonna give me half
I was like, "Is you paying the rest in cash or whatever?" He was like, and this is what he says to me, right? He's like, yeah, man, I know you got it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got you later, man. Right now, things are this, that, and the third. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to you later, blah, 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 right? And, I'm a nice guy. All my clients, I always take care of them. If you're my client, you rocking with me like that, you lose your job, I still cut your hair until you get back on your feet. That's the kind of guy I am, right? So anyway, so this guy, he basically assumes that, it's cool to just do me like that. And I'm a big giver. I don't be tripping off of money. And I almost let him make it, right? But something in my soul came up and was like, I think it was a Drake line. He was like, I got to start calling shit when I see it. It was your hustler. Right? So he was like, all right. He was like, but I'm going to get you next time, right? Just like play me to the left like, oh, yeah, you good, bro. I got you next time, right? And I was like, nah, man, ain't no next time, bro. He was like, what you mean? I'm like, it's all good, bro. I was like, you just played me. And I was like, and it's not cool, bro. I was like, we've been rocking for a long time. You know how I get down. I'm consistent with what I do. I need you to be consistent with what you do. I said, I would have cut your hair for free if you would have told me from the beginning that you got whatever going on in life. I don't even need details. I don't need details. But you didn't give me the opportunity to say no, yay, nay. You don't know what's going on in my life. I might have been needing that at this specific moment in time. You don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what's going on in your life. And up until this moment, I thought everything was great in your life up until it came time to pay me. And now I find out that things aren't whatever going on in your life, which is not fair and which I don't appreciate that. And this is not your first time pulling a little, what you call it, bitch nigga traits the other day? Yeah, that's what you called it the other day. I was like, so, and I was just like, and I just stood up in it, and I wasn't even mad. I was really proud of myself for taking the moment to appreciate myself enough, know what I'm worth, and to being straight up with my client and letting him know. And I was like, it's not cool. I don't appreciate it. You just said, screw what I got. Right. You know what I mean? And then you just try. And then what really pissed me off specifically about him was he's one of those people that likes to talk about being conscious and aware and doing to your others as you have one of those brothers, right? And then I'm just like, you talk all that stuff and then you pull that on me. And I'm just like, what does that say about you? Like, I don't care about none of that. None of that's real. And I was like, and it sucks. So, and then so I say all that to say this. So basically I let him make it. I said, it's all good. Go on about your business. You know what I mean? But it wasn't cool. I want you to know it. I'm not cool with that. Right. And it is what it is. Yeah. So I went on my booking app. And I blocked him because I was like, there's no need for me to get mad. He played me. This ain't the first time. He's still my friend. I'm still cool with him. But business-wise, it's not cool. I'm okay with like letting it go because all money's not good money, right? And you have to teach people how to treat you about why you allow them to get away with, especially in business, especially when you're an entrepreneur trying to establish yourself and trying to show people to take your business serious. Because if you don't take your craft serious, nobody is going to take your craft serious. Like, you wouldn't believe in South Crown to be sitting here if I didn't believe in it. Right. Like, we wouldn't have this. So I made a stand, and then it was also a moment to show my coworkers who were kind of right there to see that as well. Like, I didn't have to cuss him out, and I have to be ignorant. I didn't have to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I could, it was, I didn't have to. I just hit him with the truth. Yeah. And the truth is, you wouldn't walk into HEB and do that. Yeah. And the truth is, you wouldn't do a white guy like that. Right. That's another thing. And that's what I told him on the phone. I said, listen, in order for this relationship to even ever work, I need you to treat me like you treat the white man. Like, you don't ask him for hookups, don't ask me for hookups. I'm not going to ask you for a hookup. Right. I'm going to do my job, and then in return, you pay for your service, and you go on about your business. So long story short, I got a lot of clients that got a lot of accounts on my booking app, So I'm thinking I blocked him, right? I'm like, it's all good. He'll get the message. No hard feelings. I don't need to argue with nobody. I'm not tripping over $20 because it was strictly the principle, and it was a moment for myself to learn and grow in my own truth and awareness, and to tell him. And I look up this food. I'm booked an appointment, right? I'm like, man. So I'm looking at it, right? So then I go delete it, right? I'm like, whatever, bro. So then I get a phone call. I'm busy, but again, he's my guy. I don't hate him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though, again, this is wasting my time, taking away from my money because I'm working. So I answer the phone. He's like, yo, I noticed there's a discrepancy in the booking, if you will. I'm like, nah, ain't no discrepancy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's real.
So, part of me before I answered that phone, I was like, I could avoid this and just ignore it, right? But I've already done what I've done, and I need to face up and just handle it, finish it on out. So I want to hear what he has to say. So he was like, yeah, man, I see you took me off. I was like, yeah, man, I'm just not, excuse my French, but I'm not fucking with you like that. Like, you're my dude. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. It's not your first time doing me like this. And it's the principle of it, And so he was like, and then he hit me with like, man, you're right. Like, I'm sorry. I was like, man, stop, dog. Like, he's like, I'm sorry, man. Like, you're right. I shouldn't have did that. I took advantage, So I'm a person that's real. I'm all about I'm a hard person, right? So I'm like, all right. Because I wanted him to be like, well, f*** you then. You know what I'm saying? I wanted him to be like that. So I could just like, all right, bet. But he was humbled. He was like, you're right. Like, I shouldn't have did that. And he fessed to it and manned up to it. So I was like, all right, cool. I got a 130. Be here, right? So, and I cut his hair. He's back on the books. Even though at the beginning of that day, when I started my day, I wouldn't cut him no more. But I allowed the moment to be what it was and appreciate it. Like, God is like, all right, he learned. You don't have to beat him out with it. I wanted to, but he was actually all humble about it. Like, you're right. I'm like, man, argue with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was like, no, you're right. You know what I'm saying? And that took a lot for him to do that. He had to be a man. It takes a man to do that. And I applauded that. So I was like, and then the hustle part of me is like, don't let you have a 130 slot open. Get your money.
Yeah, make it up.
I was like, all right, cool. But that's just how God works. He's like, go ahead. So I'm looking at my joint like, damn, I do have a 130 open.
Take a chance on it.
Let me go ahead and do it. Right. God, you know what I'm saying? Boom. And that, and that's another lesson, for people out there. Like, you can't let emotions get in front of your money, but at the same time, all money's not good money. And you have to know how to recognize what is and what isn't. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Anyway, everybody's all about to wrap this thing up, man. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, man, here in a second, man. I don't know. I feel like I started getting to my flow. But yeah, man. Let me see. It's 4:20, Friday. Y'all make sure y'all safe out there, man. What's on my mind? Oh yeah, I wanted to give a quick shout out to my boy Vernon on Facebook. He's my guy. He I checked my messages this morning, and he actually had a prayer on there for me. So I appreciate that prayer, Vernon. Appreciate that, bro. That meant a lot to me. Y'all be safe this weekend. Follow us on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, Detailcuts. You can follow also Did It Podcast on Instagram. South Crown on Instagram. Who else we got out there? Lizzie. But we are right here broadcasting live from 1010 South Flores, right here at South Crown Barbershop. Like I said, I'm so grateful for this platform. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I hope I help somebody, and I hope that you guys really get that I do humbly appreciate this platform and guys listening. Like I said again, y'all be safe out there. Follow us. Be safe. Make somebody smile. Do something for the next man. And make sure by all means you help somebody else to go out there and vote, because that's the most important thing right now in life, is to get that vote out. Y'all be safe. And we gonna keep rocking, man. Y'all stay tuned. God bless. Peace.
Woo, woo, woo.
See you next time.